What's up, millionaires in the making? Welcome back to another episode of the MITM podcast. I'm your host and founder of the MITM Club, Ty Aarons, and today we're talking about the 6 pillars of success. First, I want to say a very happy New Year's, and I hope that y'all are making the most of this new year that is here now. And with that being said, let's just jump into it. I've been exploring the 6 pillars for the better part of 15 years now. I started this back when I was about 14 years old, and I can 100% say that it was borrowed from Project Life Mastery, from the 4-Hour Workweek, from Tony Robbins, Awaken the Giant Within. I was reading all these different books, watching all these videos, and there were so many ideas out there that I had to condense them into things that would make my life easy for me to follow a step-by-step sequence to really take control of my life. So what I did is I broke it down into 6 simple pillars. And as long as we can balance these 6 pillars, we'll be able to live up. So the first pillar was the self. Okay? Everything starts with you. Everything starts with what is within you. So as we're exploring the self, we want to say, hey, how am I feeling? How am I breathing? How am I existing? What kind of person do I want to be in this world? Okay? So we would explore the self. Or so I've talked about the 6 pillars before, and I'm going to give you a quick rundown overview of what all the 6 pillars are. They are the self, fitness, finance, family, fun, and education. Those are 6 pillars of life. And if you're able to master all 6 of these pillars, you're bound to be successful. Okay? So we do it in that order. We start with self, fitness. Okay? Those 3 are 3 of our foundational pillars. You have to be able to fill your own cup first so that you can have more, to be more, to give back more to those around you. So we always start with the self. What do you want out of life? What matters to you? What is your credo or your way of life? Right? What are the rules that you live by? What are non-negotiables in your life? What are standards that you have for your life? Those are the things that we're going to put under the bucket of the self. And I want you to be as selfish as possible when thinking of these. And I say that by meaning, don't worry about what other people think, feel, or what they might judge about what you want for yourself. Okay? The self is I'd say the most crucial pillar out of all of them because it's you. It's literally you, right? So once again, what are credos that you live by? What are standards that you uphold? Like for me, I don't take the TTC. Not because I don't take public transportation, not because I'm trying to be elitist, but I like to be on time and I like to sleep. So if I'm sleeping on my ride somewhere, I'm able to get them whatever rest I need, and I'm on time because I'm not driving, nor am I the person that's waiting for buses and stuff. So one of my standards is that I don't take public transportation at all. Okay? We have a credo within the MITM Club. And it's to be present, it's to be grateful, it's to be a beacon of light and happiness, it's to be wealthy. We have a list of things that are standards in the MITM Club, but I have a personal credo. Okay, what are some sayings that you live by? One of the sayings I live by is money comes easily and frequently to me through multiple sources on a continuous basis. Right? I also, as a Montague, we say that Montagues finish what we start. So these are some personal credos that I have under my pillar of the self. So after I look at the self and I've built out that pillar, I switch over to my fitness. Because the self is about the mind and the fitness is this vessel that we walk with through this world, okay? Now fitness can be broken down into 3 subcategories. There's mind, body, and soul. There's 3 key elements to being healthy, right? So when we think of our mind, what are we putting into our mind? Whether that be what kind of music do we listen to, what kind of content do we watch, what do we follow on social media, what's going into your mind, okay? It is, and I know, the self and the mind aspect of this fitness pillar are very similar. But yeah, what's going into your mind, okay? Mind, your body, this physical being. How am I moving through the world? Do I sit all day? Do I have a standing desk? Do I walk? How many times do I exercise? Have I tried any fitness challenges? What are you doing to challenge your body so you can live powerfully past your prime? All right? You want to live long, healthy life, being strong and vital with no aches and pains. So what are you doing differently to actually be able to live that long and fulfilling life? And your soul or spirit is a huge aspect of fitness. How often are you taking time to just be? A lot of the times we're human doings instead of human beings, and a way to feed the soul is to be still. It's not always, it's not always a go time where you have to run around and do, as many things as you can. You can also take time to just be. So to break down the fitness pillar a little further, it's like, what body weight would you like to be at? What are some skills that you'd like to develop? Maybe what's your resting heart rate, right? Is there any challenges you want to do? And you're going to break down your fitness pillars and say, now what do you have to do in your life to maintain those pillars? So we have our credo and a self and all of these things, your standards for yourself. You have your fitness, which is taking care of this vessel. And then we go into finance. In order to best maximize the first two pillars, and I mean any of the pillars, now we need money. And money, I like to look at it as a tool for freedom. Right? It's not something that's supposed to rule over our lives, but having more of it gives you more options to be more free. Having more of it gives you more options to actually pay for the food that you need, to get the health treatments that you need, to be in more control of your life. And how are we going to break down our finances? So what is a minimum standard that you work and earn? I remember back when I was about 17 years old, I was working at a burger shop in one of the malls here in Toronto, and I was making like $9 and change per hour. And then I was waiting. I've never gotten a raise before. I was so excited. My raise is coming. And they're like 10 cents or 30 cents or some bullshit. And I went from $9 and whatever to like a $10.05 or some. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, what can I do with this money? I'm expecting like a $2, $3 raise. I'm excited. I've been calculating it. What am I going to get? They gave me a couple pennies and I quit. I said, I don't need this job. I'm not doing it. I quit. I found another job. And I went from $9 an hour to $18 an hour. $9 was minimum wage at the time. I went straight to $18 an hour. And I said, I'm never making less than $18 an hour. And then I went to school and I studied and I developed out my profession. And coming out of school, I was making $30, $35 an hour. And I said, I'm never making less than $30, $35 an hour. And I've continuously raised my standards. So even now, we're way beyond hourly. I don't worry about hourly anymore. I just think in income generating monthly and what my minimum standard is. Now, for me, I'm like, anything less than $5,000 in my bank account's a problem. That's a new standard that I've created for my finances. Another thing that I look at is I always pay myself first. There's a great book called The Richest Man in Babylon that talks about a lot of different fables inside of that book to help you understand your finances better. And what I chose to do is I pay myself first no matter what. And I pay myself a minimum of 10% first. Okay, if I loan you $10 and you give me back my same $10, sorry, $1 of that you just gave me back to me is now a part of my pay yourself first fund. And it goes into a different investment bucket to make sure that I'm paying myself first in the best way possible. Okay? That's a standard that I have for my finances. And also, what are some goals that you might have for your finances? Right? Do you want to build out a business? Do you want to buy income generating property? How much money do you have to put aside and when? So the pillar of finances is really you want to break it down in a way where you can then go and live the life that you want. Okay, you can take care of yourself properly, you can manage your fitness properly, you have your financial goals, you have your standards for yourself within your finances, and you can keep moving. Okay. The next one, so we said self, fitness, finance. The next is family. And it's not just the family that we live with, it's also the chosen family. And by chosen family, I mean our friends. Okay. So you want to think about the people around you now. Who do you want to have in your life? What do you want to do with those people in your life? Who do you want to be for those people in your life? And I want you to really brainstorm and get deep on what are these connections and what's the value and importance of those connections? How are you going to nurture them? Are you making sure that you're giving people their Christmas gifts or birthday presents or whatever? Are you saying, hey, I call 3 people every day just to be in contact with folks and check in on them? What are the standards that you have in the pillar of family so that you can now live a fulfilling life? That pillar, honestly, I know that and in the past, I haven't really focused on that one as much in talking about it. But when you die, you're going to have a birthday and a death day and a dash on your gravestone. And the pillar of family, the people you kept around, the relationships you developed, the memories you made with those people, that dash in between when you first start living and when you die, that dash is really going to be propped up or brought down by the people that you've had around and how you developed out those relationships of family, okay? So, self, fitness, finance, family. Next step is, let's go straight to education. What are you putting into your mind? What books are you reading? How are you learning? How are you growing? How are you stretching yourself? Okay? And this is not just for career, it's also for leisure. I always break down education into two categories of professional education and leisurely education, because you want to continuously being a better person. Are you learning new languages? Are you learning about new cultures? How many books are you exploring this year? And it's not just about like self-help and development books. How many leisure books do you have? I know that in the last year, I use Audible. I like audiobooks a lot. And I'll go through them, I'll listen to them while I'm working, and I listen to them some more, and I take notes, and I'll buy the physical book alongside the audiobook so that I can go in and really get deep on these notes. Really, really deep with these notes. But in the last year, I've read over 15 books, which when I look back over when I was 15 years old, it was one of my goals to just read 3 books a year. And for me to go back over this last year of 2023 and to see that I did 15 books, and I revisited old books, and I learned so much just through these books. This year I also learned how to do copywriting and content creation. Like, those are little skills that I've been developing out so that now I can have more, to be more, to give back more to all of you, right? And then to give back more to all, y'all give back to me, and I give back to my family, my kids, and everyone else, right? So that's when you look at education. How are you developing yourself? What skills are you growing? And what things are you gonna make sure you focus on for your education? And the final pillar is fun. You don't just wanna be a stickler. You don't wanna just be a person that is always working, always stressing, and is no fun. You wanna find that balance. That's why it's one of the key pillars to develop our dream lives. How are we having fun? What vacations are you going on? What staycations are you going on if you're a homebody? You know, what events are you gonna go check out? Do you play video games? I don't know, do you read for fun? Do you, whatever it may be for you that is in that fun pillar, you wanna make sure you map that out and plot it out and plan it accordingly. And y'all may notice, I'm hoping you guys do notice, that the pillars are all interconnected. They're all interconnected pillars, okay? Depending on what you wanna do for yourself, that's gonna grow your mind, it's gonna go into the education. Depending on what you wanna do for your physical body, it will definitely affect your finances, right? And what you want to do for fun might impact your education. And they're all intermingled in such an interesting, intricate way. But when you get clear on each of the pillars and you can start to see the connections between each one, you'll notice that it gives you a nice balanced life. Because if your health and your body pillar crumbles, right, your mind pillar starts to crumble, and then your financial pillar might start to crumble, and then your your fun pillar is definitely going to crumble like right away. And then your family pillar is crumbling. And it's all from just not taking care of your body and your health and your mental wealth and all that. I said mental wealth, which is pretty accurate, but your mental health and all of that. That's pretty much an overview of, and me rambling about the 6 pillars and what they are and how you can start to explore them. Now, I do have a tool and I do have a course coming up where we're gonna dive deeper into the 6 pillars so that we can help you with tangible tips tangible tips and resources to actually go in and maximize each of these 6 pillars for you. At the MITM Club, we say master your fitness, your finance to live your dream life. And if you can master those 2 and you have your 6 pillars to look at, you will build a dream life, I promise you. So that's pretty much brings us to the end of today's episode of the MITM podcast. Until next time, continue growing, developing, master your 6 pillars, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace.